Morris, and I am the Corporate Communications Manager at SKELEC, and I will be your host for this morning's program. This morning, I have with me two gentlemen who are no strangers to the program. I will allow them to introduce themselves, and then we'll go into this morning's discussion. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Patrice.
I hope everyone is doing well.
Yep.
Oh, lovely. So please tell the listening and viewing audience who you are and the position that you hold at SKELEC.
Sure. Good morning, everyone. Everyone listening to the radio waves, good morning. My name is Trevil Baker. I am the Assistant IT Manager for SKELEC. I've been with the company for about 3 to 4 years, roughly.
All right. Good morning, Trevil. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Keane. I'm the Electrical Maintenance Engineer at the power plant. I've been with the company for about 4 years now.
Okay, so you're both babes in SKELEC to some extent, because I know persons who work at SKELEC, they almost never leave. They stay there for a very long time. Today, we are discussing STEM. National STEM Day was celebrated on November the 4th, and as SKELEC being an electric utility company, we have several positions that include the many disciplines of STEM. This includes science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. As such, today we are going to discuss the importance of STEM and find out a bit more about how these two gentlemen ended up on their STEM journey. So, Mr. Baker is the Assistant IT Manager, and Mr. Mark is the Mechanical Maintenance Engineer. Electrical Maintenance Engineer. I almost thought I got it right. And I want them both to tell me how they ended up in the field of technology and how you ended up in the field of engineering.
Well, I guess I could start first. So, to be honest, my first career choice was never STEM or IT.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll give you a quick story. So in high school, I actually chose accounting as my first major. I was the focus on the money, and back then, money was accounting and finance was the way to make money. But something interesting happened. The teacher on the first day of class, the teacher said to us, "If you give us homework on a particular day, we have to turn in the homework." They said the next day after school. The day before the next class.
Okay.
And at that time, we had classes on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So what that means is that I would have to turn in my homework. If it came on a Monday, I have to turn it in on a Tuesday. And if I have homework on a Wednesday, I have to turn it in on a Thursday.
Yes.
And that didn't work well with me. So I immediately went to the principal office and I said, is there any way we can change the subject? He said, it was still in good time to change the subject matter. And I went ahead and changed it from accounts to IT.
Just like that?
Yeah, because the time frame was still good.
Okay.
And so actually that happened at a good time, because at that same time my household had just purchased a used PC, and me and my brother was just going ham on it. We would take it apart, put it together, install all various types of software. Sometimes we get hardware from the IT lab from school, and but the whole thing is that it was what I loved about IT when I was getting involved with it, is that the fact that you could virtually get anything for free if you know how to look for it. Software, you can get anything.
That's a very nice way of putting it.
But it's true, because even with Netflix and so that a lot of us pay for, some of these movies are literally on the internet for free. I'm not condoning, but I'm still saying that you can get literally anything for free, and that is what drove my passion for it. And from there, I kept, having my interest just keep growing, and that is what got me into STEM and the love for STEM. And of course, love for technology.
I can definitely hear the passion in your voice as you speak about IT, like you almost instantly get excited. There's a big smile on your face, and that is really what we are trying to encourage as a company, just to get especially students encouraged in these, to pursue careers in these areas. So, Keane, how did you become an engineer, or why?
So, I guess my fascination with science and engineering began with my fascination of airplanes. Yeah, at a very young age, I was very interested in how airplanes worked, how people kept them in the air, and things like that. And it so happened I was very good at the science subjects as well in school, maths included. So I decided, well, let me, I guess, couple my passion for airplanes and how they work and the physics of them with the talent that I had in the subject areas, and that's how I became an engineer.
Wow, so it was the fascination of airplanes, and Trevil didn't want to do the homework when he was given the homework. So here it is, you both ended up in very successful careers. So for persons who might not fully understand what STEM is, and might not fully understand the role that STEM plays in the energy sector, I want for both of you to be able to explain that, particularly you, Trevil, because technology is a very major part of the energy sector that is sometimes overlooked. So I really want for you to be able to make that connection for our listeners and viewers today.
Okay, so as relates to technology, I'll say within the IT department specifically, we do a lot of management, we do monitoring, and to some extent, we do a lot of protection when it comes to the business assets and the core business processes at SKELEC, and even in the energy sector by extension. For example, we have financial data systems, we have customer data systems, we have IT data systems that we manage, whether it be patch management, configuration management, rolling out updates, stuff like that. And so we manage those systems. That's something that we have to do on a day-to-day basis. In addition to managing, we also monitor those systems to ensure that they are able to execute the tasks that we would have procured them to do. And when it comes to control, protection rather, we collect customer data, and it's critical and crucial as one of our objectives to ensure that the data that we collect are safe, secure, and encrypted. Because of course there are bad actors out there.
Yes.
We want to ensure that, you know, if any kind of compromise has occurred, that data is confined and is not easy for the perpetrators to gain access to it. So that is some of the key objectives that we do in IT for SKELEC and for STEM. But if I'm to, you know, delve a little further in regards to the engineering, and I guess Keane could chime in as well, I would say the engineer's core responsibility, I assume the core responsibility would be to procure, build, design the necessary tools and equipment that provides the generation of electricity, the distribution of electricity, and of course the transmission of electricity to our customers. In regards to the science, the science has to do with more or less the knowledge and the understanding that to the fact that energy can be, you know, different forms of energy, be it solar energy, wind energy, natural gas, but you have to understand the fundamentals that you can have to take energy from one form and transfer it to the next. And lastly, I guess with the maths aspect, we provide energy supply to our customers, and you have to ensure that you don't oversupply or undersupply. And one way the teams would manage that is through the form of metrics. And metrics is in a form of maths. You know, you have to ensure you do the necessary calculations based on the geographic area, stuff like that. So coupled together, science, maths, technology, engineer, all of them have their distinct roles, but all of them aid the energy sector and aid SKELEC in terms of executing its responsibilities to the customers.
We are in an electric utility company, so there's no way that we can't have, there is no inclusion of science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Keane, I want you to walk us through what that is like in your day-to-day role as an engineer, especially at the power plant. The power plant is the heartbeat of the company, and everything else just is periphery, just like the actual heart in the body. Everything else stems from the power plant. So y'all are crucial to us and to the nation as a whole. So how does STEM play a role in your day-to-day, what you do at SKELEC?
So, at least for my day-to-day activities in SKELEC, STEM plays a vital role in how we go about keeping the plant up and running. At the science level, scientists would have discovered electricity and done research using mathematics to create formulas of how electricity behaves and how we control it and all of that. And with that knowledge that was gained via science, then the technology for generators and so on were able to be created. And then engineers took that information and built upon it, and now we have fleets of generators with coupled to engines, and then we transferred that energy out to the public. But at least for my day-to-day role, for example, the upkeep of the electrical components, we need to know how these electrical components behave, what are the specifications that we need at the plant, that requires research, investigation,
Yes.
procurement as well, to get a device that would perform the role that it needs to perform at the plant. So, I mean, it's not very specifically what I'm
No,
doing,
that's
but
perfect.
that's technically how STEM, or how I use STEM in my day-to-day activities, as well as we always have to keeping up to date with what new technologies are out there to help run the plant more efficiently.
Of course. A lot of research.
What about mathematics? I know some students might end up loving technology, they love IT, they love science, but they might not be as good at mathematics. Is there a pathway for them, even without math, being a love for them? Do either of you do well with...
Well, I would say, to answer your question, math is critical and foundational to every subject area. I, for those who don't know me, I've been a teacher for many years, and I always believed and still believe to today that it doesn't matter what discipline you try to enter into, you have to have some level of understanding of mathematics. And it's more prominent in some more than others, especially when it comes to STEM. So engineering, they need to know maths. IT, we need to know maths. And so if you're not good in maths, but you want to pursue STEM, my best advice to you is, you have to learn it, obviously. So stay committed to the cause. I mean, if you can gain only the basics, then that might be necessary for your field of area, your field of study. But the basics are fundamental and for foundational understanding of these STEM course topics, whether it be IT, engineering, etc., etc.
Yeah, and just to add what Trevil said, I remember growing up being in secondary school, and there's some topics in maths, you'd be in class, man, why would I ever need to use this in the real world?
Of course.
And
Of course.
20 years later, there's some topics that I never thought I'd have to use in the real world, and I have to use them to make decisions for what I do.
Oh, wow.
So unfortunately, something that you can't escape if you want to be successful in STEM. You have to dedicate your time to getting better at maths.
I think overall people create their own mind blocks towards math, and you really just need to, even if it's not a focus for you, just do it to be able to have it, because it's very useful. When I changed my mindset towards math, I ended up excelling and getting my math subject. So I think even if it's not a priority, you still need to have the foundation.
Right.
You need to understand the elements, the foundational elements, to be able to excel in these different careers. Now, we already gave the students some advice about math, but what other types of advice can we share with them, especially if they want to go into STEM? Perhaps if you were their age, what is it that you wish somebody would have told you at that point in time, based on where you are now in your career?
So my advice to anyone in that area would be, and it doesn't matter which area of STEM it is, I would say be committed to the cause if you have an interest in it. I'll say a little bit more than that. It's one thing to grasp or go after, try to understand the theories and the concepts, reading about what the subject area is and understanding the concepts. But when it comes to STEM topics, and this is from my own personal experience and others who've been in the field longer than me, you have to get interactive and involved with it on a more technical basis. For example, IT, my field, it's one thing to learn about, if you're focusing on networking, for example, it's one thing to read about the concept of networking, the concept of security, but you need to go, I would suggest, you need to go and purchase a firewall, purchase a network switch, and I know low budget ends, of course, and interact with the device to understand how it actually can be implemented in a business environment. Because different vendors does their configuration differently, whether it be Palo Alto, Cisco, Dell, whatever the case may be. And so I would encourage you to get technically involved in it. Even in the field of engineering, I'm not saying, hey, go touch a high tension wire or anything like that.
Please don't.
No, don't do that. No. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying.
You have a call? Okay. You can wrap up, Trevor, and we'll take the call.
Okay, so I'm just saying, get involved, get involved in this subject in terms of the technical involvement. That's basically what I'm trying to say to the persons.
Thank you, Trevil. I'm told we have a caller even before I opened the line. So, good morning, caller. You're live. Good morning.
Yeah, a pleasant good morning. I'm calling from a resident in McKnight because I have a little query where that we keep calling about the high tension wire with trees between it, and up to now nobody shows up, and the high tension wire them caught loose. Like our lives will be in danger if any other storm comes and shake it up a bit.
Can you tell me where exactly in McKnight?
Essential Trevil Avenue. We made reports about 7 months ago, and no one shows up. So that's one of my biggest concerns.
All right. Caller, I want to thank you for remaining persistent on this matter. I apologize. On behalf of SKELEC, I will speak to the manager responsible for this area personally so we can have some resolution. 7 months is quite a long time.
All right.
All right. Thank you. Jiki, do we have any more callers? Do we have any more callers? All right, no. Okay, so Trevil was giving his advice to students who want to pursue STEM. Basically, he told them just get practical, get hands-on, get involved. What would you say to them, Keane?
I would say the present world that we live in, there's no excuse for you if you want to build a career in STEM. The amount of access we have to information, tutorials, online classes, procurement of basic engineering tools that we need, it's so much easier compared to when I was growing up, that if you want to pursue a career in STEM, you can start from a very early age, immersing yourself in all the subject areas, all the data, all the information that is needed, and just do that, because just as we can spend hours doom scrolling on Twitter or whatever, you can spend that. You could cut out some of that time and use it to grow your capacity in STEM. That's
very good advice, Keane. There should be no excuse for us to not find the information for whatever we're passionate about or are interested in. So thank you so much for that advice. We have another caller again. Y'all seem to be very popular gentlemen. Good morning, caller. You're live.
Yes, good morning, and good morning to the good lady at SKELEC. Some weeks ago, I called in and talk about some lighting at Freeman's Village and over by the Moravian Church. In the area there where the preschool is, to the east of the church, and the west and the north side by the Venezuelan ambassador. You got a pole there. The light out from since almost early January. And it's dangerous. Because at night up there lonely, and when people who live in that area, especially people who come from abroad and live here and live in them area. Jomo. I don't, me bouncing get on good, you know, but me and think it's get on better. You understand? Yesterday I tried to talk to you and you brush me off, you know. Remember if I'm always tongue, you know where these things lie.
All right,
and
so caller, yes, I do recall that you called some time ago, and I would have explained to you some difficulty we were having with getting lights on the ground. There was a program that was launched some time ago, and it appears as though those lights did not have as long of a lifespan as some of the lights that we traditionally would have had. And so we got a new vendor to get some lights, and the lead time for the lights, it takes some time to get here. We try our best to do what it is that is required to get them here, but we're procuring from all over different parts of the world. And so those lights should already be in transit to St. Kitts, if not already here, and we're hoping to have some resolution to our lighting problem as soon as possible. So we hear you, we understand, we are not neglecting the public in any way, shape, form or fashion. We are trying to see what we can repair. We're trying to see how best we can find a solution to this problem, and hopefully the lights will get here soon and we'll be able to make these installations as quickly as possible. But thank you so much for calling. There is another caller. Good morning, caller, you're live.
Good morning. Could you tell me why the energy charges is so high?
The energy charges, why they are so high. Explain exactly what you're asking here. Or rephrase it so I can get a better understanding, please.
I'm looking at my bill, right? And it says energy charges and a high amount. So
and then this is a residential bill?
Yes, it is.
And below that, do you see something that reflects energy savings?
Energy savings. Let me see that here.
You don't see anything that reflects energy savings because it should have a CR next to it. So the energy charges, from my understanding, that would also include the FBC. But just below that, you should see savings, which is the subsidy that the government provides towards the bill. So you can also log on to our website or call our customer service team and they'll be able to better help to explain to you how our billing process works, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, gentlefolk, we're going to try to wrap up the program. We have about 5 more minutes and I wanted both of you to speak to some of the careers, opportunities that are available in electric utility companies like SKELEC. They might not be what we primarily have in STEM. So I want persons to think about when they're choosing careers, how that career can land them in the energy sector.
Okay. I can, you want to start?
Okay, well, I can start for what was that generation? Almost every post of our generation requires some knowledge of STEM. So even if you're not an engineer per se with an engineering degree, or electricians or mechanics or operators, they use STEM in their day-to-day activities to keep the plant up and running. So as I mentioned there, we have maintenance engineers, we have mechanics who work on the engines, we have electricians who also do some work on the engines on the control side, and we have the operators who run the plant day-to-day. They all require some sort of knowledge in STEM to do their jobs.
All right, Trevil?
And for me, I would say, if, as we know, and think Keane said it again, times are ever changing in regards to the technology landscape. And so SKELEC, we are a ever-growing company, and so we would definitely look for persons who have an interest, a strong interest in information security and cybersecurity backgrounds. Anything that has to do with guarding our perimeters from any outside attack and even internal attacks, because you can never tell where these persons can be looking at attacking you from. But cybersecurity is one of the fields that we are looking to definitely develop. And so if you have any interest of experience in that field, I would encourage you to contact the HR department and share your interests, and we will definitely see how we can get you involved into the teams.
All right, gentlemen, thank you both. I know sometimes people might consider it to be a bit much to go and pursue an entire degree in IT or an entire degree in engineering, but there's still a lot of other roles that you can get involved in. You might not necessarily pursue an entire degree, but you can get the qualifications and certifications for some of the skills and trades that are available within the energy sector. I want you to not just think when you do IT, you're just limited to being an IT person on your own, but there's so many opportunities for you in so many different organizations, because cybersecurity is so important. You see all around the world where hospitals and energy companies are attacked by persons who have no good intentions. So we need more persons to get involved and to become engineers and to want to be in the energy sector, because energy is vital for not only national development but internationally. So we want you to consider these areas when you are thinking about careers. And I know we go out and we do this push, we go to different career fairs and we go to the schools and we do all of these things, and it's not all the times we are able to absorb all of the persons who are interested. So that's why we want you to think about the different areas within STEM that job opportunities can be available to you, not only in St. Kitts but abroad. But really go and pursue engineering, because we need engineers, and not often times we can find engineers. So please go and pursue engineering. This month is also Energy Month. It's CARICOM Energy Month, and There are several activities, and SKELEC is a partner in hosting this month. Next time we're here on air, we're going to have members of the Energy Unit speaking about the importance of Energy Month, the theme, and some of the different activities which will be held, which includes the Energy Fair that will be taking place. And this Friday is Rough Dry Friday, so it's all about conserving energy, conserving your electricity, and going to work rough dry. Gentlemen, I hope to see you rough dry on a Friday. All right, I'll give the final opportunities for any parting words that the two of you might have before we wrap up the program.
Well, I just want to encourage any of the youth, both male and female, interested in pursuing a STEM career. Just want to encourage them to put their all into it. Again, the resources are available for you anywhere online if you want to pursue that, as well as I'm sure if you want to speak to one of us in SKELEC directly, there's a way that you can contact, and we can give you some advice as to how to go about pursuing that career in terms of education and all of that. I'm sure you can get in contact with Miss Harris here, and she will put you in contact with one of us to give you some advice if you do need it, and we're available for that.
Yeah, and I just add to what Keane is saying in terms of get involved. And I one thing I can say is that SKELEC also support internship programs with the I know we do that level of support to the CFBC level,
and sometimes university students as well.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
so
so
even
just
better.
you can apply.
So if you have some interest in just to see how it's done, boots on the ground, and you have an interest, you could always apply for internship. We are always welcoming when it comes to those type of programs. And I know also Miss Harris also has an initiative where you go to the schools and just to give some level of awareness in terms of how things are done. So there is opportunity before you can even join SKELEC or join an energy department. So we have internship, we have awareness programs. Get involved, show the level of interest, and you could never know where that could take you. So that would be my advice and parting words to the listeners and viewers out there.
All right, so Trevil, Keane, thank you for joining us this morning. The program went by very quickly, but I am hopeful that we were able to spread the message of choosing a career in STEM and to celebrate STEM overall. Hopefully next time National STEM Day comes around, we have a female engineer or female IT staff who is going to be able to come and speak to the public to encourage more females to be involved. But until then, thank you for tuning into this radio program this morning, and remember that SKELEC is the nation's leading utility provider, and we wouldn't have it any other way. Bye-bye.